Hello students, let us start with the fifth module of Python. So fifth module of Python, it consists of three chapters which are network program, using web services, using databases and SQL. So these are the three chapters you will be studying in module 5. So before starting the first chapter here, which is network program, we'll just see some uh, concepts of computer network or internet. So here we see that there are two computers connected to a network. So what is computer network? Computer network is a set of computers which are connected together for some purpose, and that purpose is for resource sharing or to share data between them. Okay, so computer network is nothing but interconnection of two or more computers. Then on the there is a big network of network which is nothing but internet. So y'all have heard of term internet, but what is internet? If I ask, you should say it is network of network. So internet, it is massive network of network. It connects millions of computers together globally. On internet, any computer can communicate with any other computer as long as they both are connected to internet. Okay, so now on the internet or on this big network, how do you identify one computer, or how do you identify different computers? So yes, we identify them with something called as IP address. So here 205.172.13.4 is nothing but it is IP address. And then this foo.bar.com is nothing but domain name, because humans cannot deal or cannot remember the numbers, so instead we deal with the names. These are called as domain names. So IP address, in simple words, or it is nothing but it is a unique address that identifies a device on the internet or on a local network. It allows, this IP allows system to be recognized on the internet, meaning for a system to be recognized, we have something called as IP or internet protocol address on the internet. Now these IP address, there are two formats here, IPv4, IPv6. So let us not go in that detail. You just know that there is something called IP address, which is some unique identification of a particular system. And because we cannot deal with these numbers, that is IP address, we have something called as domain names. Next is port number. So what is this port number? Port is endpoint of a connection. This port is address of a service within the system, you can say. So IP address is the address given to a machine. Now within that machine there is a port number, that is a number which is given to a particular service within the system. Now these are some fixed numbers, that is 21 for FTP, then 80 for HTTP hypertext transfer protocol, this was file transfer protocol, and so on. So these are some fixed numbers. Now any other applications you have, any other program you have, the operating system selects some number randomly and assigns to it, assigns the port number to it. You might have heard of client server concept, that is on internet we have various clients and various servers. So client and server, for them to, meaning the client is going to ask for the services, whereas the server is going to serve those requests, or it is going to serve meaning release the services. For example, you might have browse something. So to access internet, what we do is we open a browser. Okay, so once we open a browser, what happens is on the URL, you on the address bar you type in the URL. So URL, it consists of a domain name. So whatever you type, the browser tries to connect to that particular name server. It retrieves the corresponding IP address of that web server. Once the IP address is found, it tries to the web browser, it tries to connect to that web server by sending HTTP request. And then if the web page is there, the web server, if the web page is there, it sends back the desired page. Otherwise, if the web server doesn't find that particular page which the client has requested, what it does is it sends a error message saying that HTTP 404 error message, meaning it says page not found message. You all might have experienced this. Okay, but if the page is found, it returns that particular page. So it is the task of the browser to load all the images or whatever is there in that particular page, to load everything and display it on the browser window. Once this is done, the connection is closed. So there's something about client and server. Socket is the next thing. So what is socket? Socket is the communication endpoint. So you can see here there is a socket shown, there is a socket shown, and the network. So socket is nothing but it is one endpoint of a two-way communication link, okay, between the two programs running on the internet. Two programs meaning client and server, you can assume. Then in Python we have a library called as socket, which we'll see later, which is going to allow for the communication, or which is going to help for the communication. So hope these terms are clear. Putting it in very simple terms, socket is like a telephone, end-to-end device for communication. Okay, socket is like a telephone, that is end-to-end device for communication. IP, it is like a telephone number, that is the address of your socket. Clear? Then port is like the person whom you want to talk, that is the service you want to order from that address. Okay, hope the things are clear now. Next we have, as I said, a socket library in Python. So we use that for communication purpose. Further, at the end of the video, we'll be writing a web browser, we'll be writing a code for a web browser. So we'll be writing the simplest browser. So in that you will have to use these things. So the function which I use there is socket function. So I say socket, and it takes three parameters. The first is socket family, the second is socket type, and the third is protocol. So let us see these parameters in detail. So as I said, we import the socket first, and then I say socket address family as the first, and second as the type, socket type. Okay, now what this address family must be, or what are the different values for this address family? So I can give the this parameter here, I can give as socket.af underscore inet, which if I am dealing with IPv4, or if I am dealing with IPv6, then I say af.inet6. So these are the two values which this address family takes. Now socket type, it can be one of these two things, that is socket underscore stream or socket underscore dgram, okay, or datagram. Now why these two values, or what is the difference between these two is, I write socket or sock underscore stream if I am dealing with connection based stream, that is nothing but TCP. Now you may now say, what is this TCP? TCP is nothing but it stands for transmission control protocol. So transmission control protocol is connection oriented. That means once the connection is established, the data can be sent bidirectional. On the other hand, there is something called as UDP here. So what is this UDP? UDP stands for user datagram protocol. UDP is nothing but it is connectionless internet protocol, meaning the multiple messages are sent as a packet in chunks using UDP. Now when I say this connection, the connection can be either wired or it can be wireless connection. Okay, so this is the difference between TCP, UDP. And as an example, I can say if I want to connect to system with IPv4 IP address and using TCP as the socket type, then I can write it something like this. I say socket and I pass these two parameters. Okay, same thing again here, socket family can be either AF inet or AF inet6 for IPv4 or IPv6 respectively. and the socket type parameter can be either socket stream or socket datagram. Okay, and the third parameter we have left because, or usually it is left because by default anyways it is 0. Now there will be another method which we will be using, which is yes and or connect method. We'll see this again. So coming to the chapter, the first chapter of the fifth module, which is network program. So here we'll see all these things. First we'll see what is HTTP. So HTTP, it is nothing but it stands for hypertext transfer protocol. It is the application protocol that makes the web work. Okay, so this web works because of this protocol. Now uh, think of a situation like that is you are trying to read a socket, but the program on the other end of the socket has not sent any data. Then you need to wait. You have requested for something, the other uh, end you have not received anything, so you will have to wait. Or if the program on both the ends of the socket simply wait for some data without sending anything, so this is going to be taking very long time. Or uh, uh, there should be some rules, right? There should be some rules meaning protocol. There should be some protocols for this communication, so that is taken care by HTTP. It is if we have a protocol which is nothing but set of rules that can determine who will send request, for what purpose they will send the request, what action has to be taken, what response has to be given. So all this is taken care by HTTP. So HTTP is an application level protocol for communication. HTTP, there are different versions. The first version was HTTP 0.9, which was a simple protocol for raw data transfer across the internet. HTTP 1.0, this allows messages to be in the form of MIME like messages. Let us not go much in detail in this. Quickly, let us start the let us look at the first program over here, which is nothing but we are, as I said, we'll be building a simple web browser. So the easiest way to show up HTTP protocol work is to write a very simple Python program that makes a connection to a web server and follows the rules of HTTP protocol to request a document and display what the server sends back. So I'm going to ask for something from the server and get it back and display it back on my screen. So you know that we do this using browser. Now I want to see some say file which is there on some server. I just give that on the URL and do it, right? For example, yeah, this is the file which we'll try to open, which is romeo.txt. So this romeo.txt is a file I've displayed. It has just 4 lines, which starts with but soft, what light through, and so on. The last line is who is already sick. So these 4 lines I will be uh, displaying using the program. This is displayed using browser, but as I said, now we are going to write a browser. We are going to write the Python code for that particular browser, meaning which is going to act as a browser. So first, as you all know, that we have to import the package which is or library which is socket. Then after that I have to create a socket. So to create a socket, I say socket.socket, and as you all know, we pass the 2 parameters, socket.af inet, because I'm dealing with IPv4, and then this stream because I'll be dealing with one of those protocol, that is TCP. Okay, then once I create a socket, what I need to do is I need to connect to the server. Which server? So this is the author of our textbook, so he has this server, and on that we have that file romeo.txt. So let us connect to that uh, server itself, because it has just simple 4 lines which we can easily display on the command prompt as the output of this Python program. If I take some other page, then there will be image, and also it becomes little difficult for me to display it. So let us keep this simple. So I say my sock dot connect, and I pass these two parameters. So I've already told that it is the author's server. So I say data dot pr4e dot org, and port number 80 I say. And then I have to, once the connection is established, I have to send a particular request, right? I have to send the command. Now what is that? I'm So this cmd is nothing but it is the variable which I have declared over here. And what is the value of that variable? It is this particular string. What is that? I say that I want to get the contents of romeo.txt, which is nothing but, or which is in the server, which is at this particular address, data.pr4e.org. And the communication protocol which I use is HTTP. The version is 1.0, and then there are two new line characters here, /n and /n. Now the /n and /n, or two /n's, are used for the separator. I want to separate the header and the content. So I use these two /n's, and you see this function encode here. So the task of encode is nothing but to convert Unicode to UTF. Okay, I want to convert the Unicode, or in very simple words to tell you all, this is nothing but it is collection of characters, right? So this is basically nothing but string which is in ASCII, but on the internet I should pass it as binary. So I am just converting ASCII to binary using this encode. Okay, hope it is clear now. So this command I'll be sending as a argument to this send, and I am passing it. Now once this request is sent, the server is going to respond, which I have to receive. So to receive, I don't know how many bytes I have to receive or how many lines I will receive. I don't know anything. So I start with a infinite loop while true. So while true meaning this is going to be a infinite loop. It is going to be true forever. Which means that if I want to end, I have to exit using either break or some thing. So I say while true, and then I read the first 512 bytes. Okay, or you can say that I read the first 512 characters. Now this value can be anything. You want to read 1 byte, you type 1 here. You want to read 10 bytes at a time, 10 characters at a time, you type 10. So here I have written as 512. This is the program which is taken from your textbook only. So I've kept these values as it is, but I'm just saying that you can, if you want, you can change this. Then once you receive the first 512 bytes, or you try to receive something, then you see that if there is nothing, if you say for instance there is nothing in that file, so if there is nothing, the length of this data is going to be 0. Okay, and this brick will execute and it will get the control outside. Okay, brick will execute, it will get the control outside. Now we know that there are those 4 lines in that file. So this, whatever are the first 512 characters, those will be read, they will be saved in data. This, because the length is not 0, so it is going to skip this break, it is going to come over here, and I want to print, but I cannot print it in binary format. As I said, I cannot print it in UTF format, so I should convert the UTF to Unicode, meaning in simple words, as I said, I should convert the binary to ASCII again by using this decode. So here we encoded. Similarly, the reverse way, I decode here and I go on printing the data as well. So this process repeats. Once there is nothing which is received, the if statement here becomes true, break executes and it gets a control outside, and then I close the connection. Okay, so to close the connection I use this mysock.close. So mysock is nothing but now you have studied files, right? You have studied files. So this is something similar. You opened a file, you get a file handler, and using that file handler you try to open that file, read whatever you do everything using that file handler, right? So same thing, and at the end you use that file handler and close the connection. So something similar is this. Okay, so you assume that this socket is like a file. Okay, you can read, you can write in it, but the difference is the file will be on your hard disk, whereas socket is something which is there on the internet or at some other computer, you can say. Now the output of this program, if you want to see, it is going to give you something like this. So it will give you the header first, and then, as I said, there are one slash line, new line character here, one new line character here. These two new line characters I had told you will be the separator between the header and the content. So these are the contents of that file. When you had seen this romeo.txt on the browser, it had displayed only these four lines, which were but soft, what light, and the last one was who is already sick and pale with. So these were the four lines, but along with that it has printed the header also. It is going to print the header also, because this is what is received from the server. Now your browser, Google Chrome, was intelligent, it does not display this. Now in our code of those 5-6 lines, this particular code, I can still take care of skipping that header. We'll see that in the next program of how do you skip the header. But as of now, I have displayed everything which I have got. Okay, so header contents, when the file was last modified, what was the server, what is the length of the content, what type of contents are received. So it says it is text, what type of text, further it is plain text. Sometimes when you receive some CSS rules, it will be text slash CSS, or say there is some JavaScript program, it will be text slash JavaScript, and so on. So like that will be this is called as MIME. Okay, so let us not go much in detail. Hope you have understood this particular program. So we'll stop the video here and we'll continue with the next program in our next video.